Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Frankie B. And hey, I just want to tell you that today this is actually a part 2 video, which hopefully you'll enjoy. The previous video was actually a Facebook Live that I did yesterday, and it was me penciling out this wonderful sketch cover, various of Ultraman, fighting some of his classic nemesis. And you open it up. Well, actually, here, I'll flip it this way. And then he's been joined by Toho's Jet Jaguar, who is kicking another one of Ultraman's nemesis. So technically, this is Jet Jaguar coming into the Ultraman universe to give his buddy a little helping hand to fight off some of these Kajus, because it looks like they're trying to tag team on them. So anyway, this is a sketch cover, and as you can see, this will be a front and back sketch cover, which is always so much fun to do. Almost tells this massive big story. So anyway, here we go. This is going to be the inking video, and it will also be a mashup video, what I call the mashup videos. The mashup videos are videos whereas I do some talking in the beginning, just to sort of set the narrative or the mood. And then I transition over to Hyperlapse, which then shows a cool speedy drawing and stuff like that. So I'll do a little bit of talking. I don't want to talk your ears off and stuff. And then we'll transition over. All right. So first off, the weapons of choice today will be, let me grab my Microns, bring them all over here. As I've said in previous videos, I'm a messy artist, and in that messiness, I find order. So I got a couple of Microns. I usually work with 00, excuse me, 00, jeez, talk about Cyborg 009, excuse me. Micron, the Micron 01, and then as well as the, excuse me, the Micron, I don't know if you guys can see that, 003. Pretty much stay in that wheelbarrow, don't really mess around. I actually have two, and I think I actually have another one too. Another one as well too, geez, of the Pentel Brush Pens. These are fantastic. They have cartridges, and they're really great to work with. Although I am feeling the itch to want to break out my old brushes and open up some Sumi ink and start going the old school way. So we'll see. Once I start working on the Kajus and comic book, Kajus and Cowboys. God, I've been saying this so much of late. A lot of interviews, and so the Kajus and Cowboys comic book series, which will be published by Second Sight Publishing next year. Once I start going into that, maybe I think I'm gonna really try to push myself with it. And then I think I may actually be laying some zipper tone or screen tone down on some pieces as well. So yeah, I'm really getting pumped up about it. The Kickstarter has been doing fantastic, by the way. We made it to the milestone of 100 backers, but now we're going to push. And, you know, hey, don't stop. We got 10 more days. So let's see how many more backers we can get. This is all about getting that comic book into the hands of people, and then hopefully build up a strong enough audience who will say, okay, when it finally drops next year, they'll be in it for the ride. So anyway, all right, so let's see what other pens. I'll probably use my Tombow. Got a Tombow one, a Tombow pen here. I think it's a Tombow. I think I got two different ones. They could be the same ones. So two of those always, and then we'll just see what happens. I have my gel pen, of course. So, all right, let's get going. All right, so first, let's start with, I have to say that the sketch covers, cardstock is fantastic, by the way. It really, really holds the ink really well, nice and strong. This has been a great time for me to sort of dig through my stashes and pull out a lot of these sketch covers that I have for certain comics that I feel that really work for my sort of likes. Oh, come on. I don't know. Microns are great, but boy, they sometimes they can be kind of finicky. You know, this one is like, I gotta fight with this one a little bit. When I was talking on the Facebook Live piece, when I was working on this, I was explaining how this is almost a continuation from a piece that I did a few years ago. Whereas I just had this idea of doing Ultraman with Jet Jaguar. since technically I think there's always been this weird little small debate in the community where, you know, technically, you know, that Jet Jaguar is based off of Ultraman in some degree, which I think that's a fair assessment. You know, it happens. I think that Jet Jaguar was designed in such a way that it wasn't like a complete rip, because I know that Godzilla's popped up in the Ultraman universe. So, and I know Jiris is technically Godzilla with just like a fin around his neck. But I just feel that that Toho was really smart in how they handled Jet Jaguar's creation. I always felt that Jet Jaguar was definitely, they kept the design very similar to how Mechagodzilla looked, especially the face. And I really like that. It definitely kept it in that universe. There's no mistake of that. All right, so I'm just breaking out a standard ruler that I have lying around. My teacher used to call these straight edges. Well, actually, a straight edge would be a triangle. I always thought that he'd always be like, hey, pass that straight edge over here, and it'd be the triangle. I don't know if too many people remember T-squares. I still got my T-square hanging on the wall over here. This T-square is actually from my art school days. So you're talking, I graduated in 1991. It was a 3-year school, so yeah, I went in there in 88, right after I graduated from high school. No slacking for me, getting the job done. That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm gonna hit it with a couple of lines. Yeah, this has just been a really busy year, which is great, you know. And I've been able to work on a lot of just really eclectic work. But now that I'm getting into the seed of co-creator and working on the actual series, I mean, we're looking at 12 issues already that we're going to be doing. So that's pretty substantial. And then the whole other side thing of just the marketing, getting the word out. I think that's one of the most important things that many artists and creative teams have to understand, is that you have to already have in your mind that marketing has to play a very dominating role. You know, it has to be a very, very important role in anything that you do, because it's important. I mean, how are people going to find out about your project or your book or whatever, you know? You definitely need it. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of feathering here. And the thing about me is that when I'm inking, it kind of, I don't know, it's weird, but I just kind of go with what feels good. You know, I know that there's artists who they're really much more deeper thinkers when it comes to the process, but I never really consider myself I would never get too deep about it. You know, and I probably blame that on one of my teachers. I think her name was Tina. She was a very, in art school, where she had a very loose way of looking at how art, it was a very free way, not loose way, but I'll say a very free way, even though my school was teaching me to be a commercial illustrator and stuff, you know, and that's serious. There also was this point where she always would stress the fact of just like art, like the sense of not getting too, you know, crazy about stuff. You know, you're like overthinking things. I think that was her point. Don't overthink it. Hit that a little bit thicker. Add a little weight on there. All right, cut a little bit lines. It's always tough. Like if somebody wanted to ink me, it's so tough to really ink me because I'm so last minute on certain things. I'll just be like, oh, you know, like that right there. Like I just decided the last minute that I wanted that weird kind of feathering effect. And that's a last minute thing, you know. Put a little bit of weight behind there. Drag it out. Hope you guys can see it. I'm going all over the place. All right. Well, as I said before, I'm not going to do a lot of talking on this one and stuff, because if you really want to hear me talking, then you definitely got to see part 1. I think I clocked in at, God, don't quote me. I think I didn't look at the actual time, but it must have been like over 3, close to 4 hours. So yeah, if you really want to hear Frankie B just rambling on, then I would say go to that one. But for now, I'm going to stop this one and then transition over into the Hyperlapse. And once more, I want to just thank you so much for coming to my channel, checking it out. Leave comments, please. I love comments. I definitely will respond to people. And I just love chatting. It just shows me that you are into what you're seeing and that you want to share your thoughts as well onto it. And I really appreciate that. So with that said, as always, let's keep that.